And welcome to The Standpoint. I told you August is going to be exciting. And yes, God has been good. If you're watching this, God has been good because it means you're alive. Even if you are hearing me, it means you are alive. Life is all we need. Today we are going to have a very educative program. We have a couple in the studio. They are quite young, but then they mean business. Couple goals, the future, and retirement. At what age do you plan together as a couple for your retirement? I'm not sure you've even thought about that. But anyway, aside the insurances and all the things, the investments, what can you do? What can you do? Well, my name is Gifty Auntie. Welcome to The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress was made for me by Monique Friday. Monique Friday is all the way in Kumasi, and she made this beautiful dress for me. Thank you so much to her. My makeup by the one and only amazing Nax Beauty Studio. And of course, I fix my hair at Exotic Trends. How do you like my new look? I'm loving it anyway. Exotic Trends, especially I go to the Marina Mall branch there. They have all the protocols in place for you. Nax Beauty Studio, if you want to do one-on-one tutorials, she can do that for you as well. Follow her on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I also say thank you to all our supporters and upcoming sponsors. We take a break. When we come back, we meet Mr. and Mrs. Luglo, who will talk about couple goals, the now, the future, and for retirement. We'll be back. Hello there, welcome back to The Standpoint. Yes, we've got 4 months to go to the end of the year 2020. What a year. But then through it all, we can say that God has been good. And today we are going to look at couple goals. Yes, despite the challenges, people still got married, Unfortunately, divorces took place. People had babies. Things that happened. God never changed through it all. So today we do have an exciting program for you. Couple goals, the now, the future, and retirement. I don't think I've even talked about retirement, with my husband as a couple anyway. I have my own retirement plans, but I don't think I've talked about it. But today, that's what we are going to talk about. And I have the right couple here with me. Well, before we go on, let me say thank you to our supporters. That's Casaproco Royal Drinks and Awake Mineral Water. GTP for my clothes, as always. Gogot Yogurt, Juice Time, Kodams, Gifts and Stationery. House of Foods, Auntie Vera. Today, she gave me some nice watching. No be small. Okay. Yep, cleaning services. They always make sure that our environment is a clean. Dream Oval. They power our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh. And of course, Nax Beauty Studio. And my dress was made by Monique Friday. On my set, I have right opposite me Emerald Aseye Luglo. She is an entrepreneur and founder, Young Steps Consult. Yeah. Welcome to The Standpoint.
Thank you.
Finally. Today you're looking too much like your mom.
Really?
Years ago, I can picture her sitting there, looking, but a younger version of your mom, either way. Well, next to her is her husband, Mr. Deladem, Komla Luglo. He's a banker and also a founder of Young Steps Consulting. So you are co-founders, right? Okay. Welcome to The Standpoint.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
When we were growing up, did you decide that you're going to marry a girl from your tribe? You're going to marry a big girl? A big girl like that one?
Not at all. Not at all. It just happened.
It just happened. But does it help?
Thank God for it.
In terms of, as a couple, knowing that you speak the same, you're from the same region, you speak the same. Do you speak the same dialect? I know from the Volta region, there are different dialects, right? Yeah.
Okay, it's quite close. We speak Vedume, but like the words that we pronounce, the tonation and all that, it's a bit different.
Okay.
Talking about marrying the same tribe, does it help? And if I tell you what we do, and I'm sure if my mother-in-law is watching now, she'll insult us. Why? Because we speak Tree most of the time.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we speak Tree most of the time.
Okay.
We speak Ewe once a while. We speak English. Even with the kids, we are now trying. We noticed later that we made a mistake by not teaching them Ewe. So it's now that we are trying to fix it. So
yeah. Emerald, is it because you grew up in Accra?
Not necessarily, because I met him in Kumasi.
Oh, okay.
I went to Tech. I visited my sister,
Okay.
and that's how I met him. And he also visited his brother in my school in the Volta
Instead of
region.
going to visit. You went looking. How long have you been married? I say
12 years.
You know I love
and
calling you. I
half.
say you.
Yes,
Instead of the Emerald.
Yes,
12 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
half almost.
Why were you
December.
babies when you got married? How old were you?
Very young.
How old were you when you got married?
she was it 26? I was 27.
6. Yeah, so I was 26.
And you were sure that you're ready.
I mean, the truth is that I always had my goals, and we used to make fun. A friend and I, John, we said, hey, when I'm ready to marry, I must marry.
I know that, right?
And it just happened that I got here while I was in school.
Right.
So everything
you
I
were
did.
still in school?
Yeah, I was in school. That was
When you got married or when you started dating?
No, when we started dating.
Okay.
So that was 3rd year. So I had plans that as soon as I finished and I start earning some money, I should just get married. So that was it. So I think I got my first job with Barclays, now APSA, in March 2007. So when I finished exceeding my targets, that was about September, October, December, I just went to get married.
So when is your anniversary date? Don't say it. When's your anniversary date?
Oh, it's 30th December.
30th December.
Yeah, I hope
Is
I
it
got
is
it right.
Yeah.
I say, at what point did the problem start? At what point did you, at what year did you start asking yourself, did I make the right decision?
Interestingly, I'll not lie about it. From, I'll say, a few weeks into marriage. You know, a few weeks into marriage, because we thought we knew each other so well. Even during our counseling session, the counselor was so surprised that we knew so much. At a point, he said, I wasn't going to continue with counseling. Let's just get married. I think you are both prepared. But when we got married...
Because you rehearsed the answers, didn't you? You asked each other questions and then you went to deliver. Boy and you know, deliver.
No. We didn't rehearse. We were just excited getting married because, you know, they say you don't get, the only school that you don't get a certificate
is
before, you know, so I learned on the job in the married.
I mean, you get a certificate before you start learning. Yeah, in married, they give you the certificate before you start learning.
Before you learn.
Yeah.
So it was difficult. So there were times I'll cry, you know, I'll hide and all. I think he was also learning. But later on, I think we adjusted.
When did you have the turning point to decide that, no, I'm going to make this thing work?
One time, I secretly called our counselor. And then I told him what I was going through. And then he called him. And then he spoke to him. So just after then, I think we just got better, because I honestly believe that we all didn't know. We didn't know much. We were all learning, so it got better.
No, let me call you Komla. Komla. What was the turning point for you? But do you agree that you went through some very rough patches?
Oh yes, I would say that even till date we are still adjusting. I mean that's the truth. And for me, I would say, that was even the minimal part. The real challenge started when we started having kids, and really when she resigned from her job and she came home and we had less money and we still had to spend more. For me, that was, the real challenge. Even what she was talking about was just
Small.
Small
You
at
see,
the time.
you see them, they are thinking of the money aspect. Whilst we are thinking about the emotional and the effect it has. Yeah. Okay.
So for me, I mean, from that point, that's when we realized that to build a solid marriage, you don't know it or you need support. And that's when we had one Dr. and Mrs. Ejapong. So if they are watching now, we want to say a big thank you to them. Because they've still been our parents till date. So if I'm there and I have a call from him, Della, how are you?
Then you know that that's been a call behind the scenes.
So when can you come home? Then I'll start wondering, okay, please, I'll check with mommy and get back to you. Usually it means perhaps I might have been reported or something. But I'll say, I mean, they've been phenomenal.
Right.
Every time they call us, we go, we listen to them. They've helped us a lot with how to, should I say, focus on the relationship, even structure our finances, even with managing household chores and even raising the children.
I say, is this something you recommend that as a couple, I mean, it's something that is so important that you get people or somebody who can be there and tell it to your face as it is when you're going wrong and when you're doing right?
Yeah. Thank you for that, because right here on Standpoint, so many years ago, you were interviewing divorced women.
Right.
Okay, and I remember a lady said, and she said one thing why she regrets she divorced was she didn't tell anyone. And my husband didn't like it. What have you gone to tell them again? You know, but I said that, look, Gifty Auntie said that if you shouldn't keep it to yourself. Yeah. I always will mention Gifty Auntie, or I will mention Uncle Ebo White. One time he reported me to Uncle Ebo White and said, my wife said, you said that we should do that. And he was laughing. You know, I said, please.
Modern age, that's what you
Yes, when you were getting married. Yeah. I think he wrote down some citations for you to follow. I said, yes. He said that you guys are corporate wives, and so I shouldn't be in the kitchen all the time. You know, so I always challenge him on those. So you shouldn't die in your room.
And Kamala, that's one thing that sometimes the men find difficult accepting, that, you know, sometimes we women cannot, so we need to talk to somebody. When we are talking to you and you don't seem to listen, we need to talk to somebody who can talk to you. But then sometimes the men, you know, get upset and get that you've disrespected them or you've taken their weakness, you know, to somebody else. You know, but I don't think this is about exposing the man or, you know, like disrespecting or disgracing the man. This is about you wanting the best and somebody who can talk to the man to know that, listen, things have to change. Yeah. You agree?
Yeah, I do. But for me, it's about who you talk to.
Exactly.
Because if you go talking to anybody at all, and yes, perhaps she didn't mention it, but in the past you've had her talking to the wrong people. So they will end up advising you in certain ways. Maybe their parents went through a certain experience. So they keep conscientizing their kids to behave in certain ways in their relationship. But when we started off, we had our goals, and clearly it's important to live by it. We've always wanted to do things together. But you get to talk to people who are like, ensure that perhaps this land is in your name. Yeah. Ensure that this car is in your name. So if you get to talk to people like that, you realize that they'll keep polluting you, and you start changing. Then I also get surprised that, I married this kind of wife, but she's now responding this way. So that gets me to also start thinking, I mean, hey, what should I also do? Right. So that's when the issues start popping up.
But that one, it's important, and sometimes we get things in our own name.
Oh, it's true, I agree.
But of course, she will tell you how you handle it. Yes. Because sometimes these days, we women, we want to sometimes also say, oh, my mommy left this one for me. My mommy gave me this, or my daddy gave it. Every time we say, daddy.
Yeah. So even with the kids, for instance, there are times if we need to do something, anything they want, I say, ask mommy. So sometimes they'll come, if they go ask her and she doesn't agree, they'll come to me and say, go and ask her. Ask for you everything.
They
Ask
go to
mommy.
Let me take a break. This is as real as it gets. And thank you for being real. I mean, thank you for saying it as it is. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the importance of having goals as a couple, because obviously you've been through it. You know, it hasn't been rosy.
Yeah.
You've learned through the process, and as you admit, you're still learning.
Yeah.
So how important it is for you to have goals as a couple, and you know what the present situation is. Maybe, and then we'll move into the future, and then during the last segment we can look at the retirement plan, which I know is very dear to you, right? Very dear to us, and I think to you too, Kobla.
Yes.
Well, you're watching The Standpoint. Again, I say thank you to GTP for my cloth. This is New Style Classic. And my dress was made for me by Monique Friday in Kumasi. Her number is on the screen. My makeup beautifully put together by Nax Beauty Studio. She's Na Kokokwe on Facebook and then on Instagram and on Twitter as well. Thank you to Exotic Trends for my hair. They fix my hair all the time. We take a break. When we come back, this interesting conversation continues. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Well, please like our Facebook page, it's The Standpoint. Our YouTube channel, please subscribe to it. That's The Standpoint. On Instagram, we are _Standpoint. And we are on Twitter as well. My personal Facebook pages are Ohinire Nana Danswa and Ohinire Gifty Auntie Oga. My Instagram handle is Ohinire_Gifty_Auntie. My guests today are Mr. and Mrs. Loglo, Mrs. Emerald Aseye Loglo, and Mr. Deladem Komla Loglo. Really enjoying you. So what were the goals you set up when you got married? What did you plan to say? What did you say? Or I should go to Aseye. Let her go say. What did you plan? I mean, not the ones you had, but as a couple.
Yeah.
What did you sit down to say? Or did you go through that? They said, oh, we'll do this, we'll do this, do that. Did you do that?
Okay, should I?
Okay.
Maybe I'll say a few points.
Okay.
Like, personally, I'm a very goal-oriented person. I've always liked to set goals.
Why
for
not?
myself.
You're a banker.
But that's my nature as a person. So I remember having set all the goals and all that, yes, we'll get married by this time. By this time, we'll have kids. By this time, we'll do that. But I remember when we did that, I think for about 2 years, the kids were not coming. And through that, I've learned that, yes, you can set your goals, but it's God that actually rules over the affairs of men. Then after the 2 years, then the kids started coming. So for me, that was a great learning there. But for the rest of the goals, we've always had in mind to ensure that we grow and focus on the relationship first. It's something that we've always said, relationship first. Our goal is also to make a lot of money. And yes, we have an idea of how much we want to make. That's another one.
The millionaire couple, or you billionaire?
Oh, billionaire.
Billionaire couple.
Then we also have business goals because we all have very entrepreneurial skills. We've always wanted to do something because we've sold clothing together, we sold chippings, we've owned a block factory. What haven't we sold? We've done a lot of things together. Even till date, we still do a business. So our goal is to run a business together as well. We also have, should I say, family goals.
Right.
So we try to extend to other people, help other people. And even with the kids, when we are going to our parents, we go with them. So they see how we take care of our parents. They see how we relate with our parents. And my in-law treats me like the son.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she treats me like the son. And that's something that has been very important from day one, a relationship that we've been investing in. We've also had other goals, like health goals, because we believe that it's when we got married, one of the things, growing up, we would do a benkwine, and my mom would normally do a lot of oil on the top. So you finish getting your banku, you get your soup, Then you get your fish. Normally we get the fish skin as well. You add it. Then you add the oil on it, plenty. So I get married to this woman and she does the soup and there's no oil.
There's no oil. Where is this one coming from?
So I tell her I want oil and she doesn't seem to understand. So yes. So with time we had to learn that, and even till date, so she'll blend pineapple and blend it with lettuce and some things, greens. And me too, I don't like the raw fish. I normally would like it sieved. So with time, I've had to learn that as well. But over time, even me, last time she did soup and did the oil, I said, oh no, I've stopped doing it.
Now I fetch and fetch the oil. I say you open the oil.
So now I eat without. So the point is, you want to live long, you want to live well. People look at me and they say, hey, you don't seem to be growing old. I turned 40 recently. And by God's grace, I can't say I have any disease. I can't say I have any disease by the grace of God. And I would say a big thank you to her as well for helping me with my diet. Sometimes putting precursor in soup. Those were things I never...
You go, girl.
And those small garden eggs, then they'll grind it in there. Yes. She still drinks them, so prepare them in the soup. They were things I was never used to. So I had an issue with the taste, but I've had to adjust. And for me, I think it's been beneficial. So these are some of the goals that we've had for ourselves.
So I say it was you quitting your job part of the goals.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But the common factor is we always plan to work together. You know, the kind of plan where I know how much money you have in your account. And interestingly, when we got married, by the grace of God, we were all doing well. We were all paid well. I used to work with GIPS, Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System. So as young as I was, my salary was good, his was good. And so he owned my ATM card. My ATM card. And when I'm paid, I say, I've been paid. Oh, hey, how much? And then he'll go and withdraw the money and pass, GIPS is our rich, go to First Atlantic Merchant Bank and invest in stocks before you come and pick me. We had one car at the time. And he would tell me, my investing in Ina. I said, hey, why? You know, he's invested because we didn't have children. And we'll go and shop, we'll just be picking and everything. But we invested, we planned for all that. So the main goal, we planned that we knew each other's income. People were surprised. How can you give your ATM card to your husband? Later on I said, sometimes I regret. Because in my office, most of the young ladies because I married early, they looked at me, hey, so what do you go through? Tell me, I'm afraid. And I said, one of the things is don't give your ATM card to your husband. Don't do that. But to tell you the truth, I think the blend is good because I love to shop. If I have 200 cedis left in my account, I don't mind spending 150. 195. So I love to spend, but he liked to save. And so I always said I thank God for him. It's because God knows that I'll spend. That's why he gave you to me. So,
but do you have any regret quitting your job?
No, I don't. I don't.
What is that thing that you need to know or see for you to be able to say that, no, this is a man who I can sit down with, talk with to plan our future?
Yeah. I would say that actually, first of all, the decision to resign was my decision. Because I was moved from departments,
Omla didn't influence this anyway.
No, he actually said I shouldn't resign. He consulted friends, we have a good friend who was paying his wife's school fees. She was into medicine. And so they got married while she was in school, and he said, "Don't try it." You know.
You told him.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
they
he
don't-
was not ready. But you know, I had to make stories, and you know, the true stories
Yeah.
that I had a lady boss. I was moved in the financial institutions. They have to reshuffle, move people because you don't have to stay at one place for too long because of, you know, financial secrets and all that. So I was moved to another department, and I just had a baby. And here was a mother who had 4 children. So I was hoping that, oh, auntie, she will teach me. I have 1. But interestingly, I think 1 is more difficult because you don't know how to, you know, bathe. You don't know how to do it fast and all. So she said, you have 1 and you are late. I get to work at 7:30. I'm late because we are supposed to be in prepared before 7:30. And so for the decision about who you marry, yes, it's very important. You need to be sure. I was very sure that I wasn't a lazy woman. That is one thing. And so when I resign, I will not beg. I will not ask all the time. One thing I always said that, yes, I will, no pain, no gain. I will go through the pain, but I know that in few months or few years, we will be fine. So that was something I was very sure. So before you take a decision, one, I'll say that in the beginning, I will say that for my experience with putting money together in the beginning, which was later good, but I'll still advise that you should have some form of, you know, investments separately. You should have some money hidden somewhere. You know, you should not hiding, but you
know,
should contribute into one pool or something. So you are sure that one day, if there is no food at home, I can just go and do that. So because you are always asking, oh, I need to go to the market. Oh, we need to buy, the milk is finished, or baby milk. And they don't, especially baby milk, they don't like hearing that one is finished and Cerelac. You know, there was one time. So our second child, when I was breastfeeding, he said, oh, I'm breastfeeding for 6 months. I said, stop. So the last day I said, I can't 2 more days, so get ready. You make us Cerelac.
Who make the milk, no?
So he ensured that, because the first one took a lot of milk because I had to go to work the 4th month. Yes, but the second one, I was at home, I had resigned, so I did the 6 months. Right. Eventually, he bought the milk.
Let me take another break. When we come back, we'll look at the future and then the retirement. We'll put the two together, you know, planning for your retirement as a couple, you know, planning for how important it is for you. And I'm glad that you're using your own experiences to go through, because these are things that we don't normally talk about, but it's so important. Well, let me say thank you to Awake Mineral Water and Royal Drink by Casapreco Company Limited. Thank you to Green Essentials for our sanitizers. The GTP for my Gogot Yogurt, Juice Time, Kodam's Gift and Stationery. Of course, House of Foods, Antivera, Yep Cleaning Services. They make sure they clean our environment, and everything you're doing, whether it's parties, meetings, conferences, office, house, they will come and clean and they do a thorough job as well. So I say thank you to Dream Oval as well, who power our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh. Follow us on Instagram on _standpoint. And then, of course, on Facebook, that's The Standpoint. And subscribe to our YouTube, The Standpoint. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Yes, we are 4 months to the end of the year, and you know that I ran my charities. There's the Girl in Need Foundation, 1 Ghana Cedi or more. Please, please, please. The Momo number is 0544-844-122. 0544-844-122. And of course, our Dansua Reading Project, and then Happy Feet in December. Every child deserves, you know, a brand new shoe during Christmas, coronavirus or not. Christmas, they must shop. These children, they don't understand anything. You remember the program we did, I think a week or 2 ago, about, you know, how the children feel about what they are going through in these times. So please, 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 you know, support us. You know, anything thing. If you can get a brand new shoe and you can drop it for us, or you can give us the money to buy the brand new shoe, or contribute, give us a book, or contribute towards us renovating a structure for a library. The number is 0543 618182. 0543 618182. And the Happy Feet, the number is 0543 618182. It's on the screen, so you can't miss it. Now, welcome back to The Standpoint. I still have Mr. and Mrs. Loglo, amazing couple. Let me start with you. I mean, I ended with Deladem, so let me start with you. I see you. Why do you need to plan for retirement as a couple? And what goes into it?
Okay. Retirement, the word retirement in itself, everyone needs to plan, you know, because currently, for instance, I'll use my mother for an example. She's retired and she doesn't depend on her children. She's fine. She lives in her own house. She has her, you know, basic needs are your place where you put your head, you can feed, you can have clothing. These are the basic needs. And so she's fine. And so one thing we always say is, my husband says, I don't want to call my children to ask them for money. Send me money. You know, I know one of my bosses, one time we went out, the father was calling and she said, but I just gave him money. Why is he calling? He called to say that he just wanted to check on her. You know, that's such a feeling. And sometimes even his mom calls and say, oh, me keko, and be auntie. You know, but you shouldn't call. And so she always feels that maybe they think I'm going to ask for money. But she's calling to actually check on us. We don't want that. There are people who buy houses for their children. They see them well, give them money. We didn't have that. We had to do everything for our wedding, everything. We had to find our place to stay and everything. So we want to do that. We want to live well. We want to live happily. We have plans of the kind of house we want to live in.
When you retire?
You know,
Okay.
when we retire,
Okay.
you know, how many times we want to travel. And I always tell him that I want a cook, I want that, you know. And so for our goals, we have beautiful plans. And we also believe in changing lives as well. That is not only about us, it's about other people.
Yeah, tell me about Young Steps, you know, consulting. Yeah.
Yeah, Deladem.
Deladem, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I think
That is what you use in the Changing Lives, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah.
So before she resigned, like we always have had goals. So we started a personal development consultancy by name Young Steps Consultancy.
Okay.
And what we do is we share practical insights to unleash the things within individuals so that they can pursue or fulfill their balanced lives. So that's basically what we do. So we run workshops, we do one-on-ones with people, and I would say that apart from, so given all the experiences that we went through,
In the early years.
yeah, in the early years, I took
turbulence.
I took my time to write articles. I know you also write a
Yeah.
lot, so I took my time to write a lot of articles, and I shared them publicly on marriage.
Yeah, okay.
And it touched a lot of marriages. So I got someone who said, I got impacted so much. I got a lot of positive feedback. So I just put it together in a book. And trust me, this book has been selling all over since 2015. The title is Before and During Marriage.
Okay.
You can get a hard copy or a soft copy on Amazon. So it's been selling all over from 2015.
Okay.
And we'll leave some copies here.
Okay.
So anybody who is interested can get a copy. It's just for 20 CDs.
Okay.
And I would say they are practical insights. Anybody who is taking time to read it will realize that these are not theories picked from books.
Yeah, real life experiences.
Yes,
Right.
there were times, apart from things I do, by God's grace, I have a call into ministry. So there are times God will wake me up at night and based on the experiences that we had, tell me, put this together. So I'll just sit at the laptop, I'll type it and share.
I want us to end on this. What's your advice to couples out there? What are the practical steps they need to take in planning for the future and especially for retirement?
Yeah.
Because, sometimes, people feel that marriage, I don't even know where it will go. Whether it will end in the long run or within a year, because, marriage is fluid. Things are changing over time. So people don't even look beyond the current situation when you're going through so many difficulties in your marriage, the challenges in your marriage, to think about our plan for the future and then for retirement.
Yeah. So talking about practical steps, I would say that the foundation is trust. Having the confidence or the trust that you are still going to live together. Because there are times that if you want to plan together and you're, what if we get divorced? What if this happens? It affects the way you take a look at the long-term horizon of the plan. So for me, I would say the foundation is trust. That's one. Two, it's about communication and you being able to sit together and understand that, yes, I have individual goals. You also have individual goals, but how can we reconcile it together so that in the end, we'll all have the kind of future that we aspire to have as a family? And that would also be bound by the values that you share. Like I said, for us, we try to put the relationship first, and just like you said in the scriptures, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added unto you. Because if you focus on money, you focus on other things, you realize that there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hurt. That rather throws the relationship into a lot of disarray. Yeah. So you put it first and you build bit by bit. And also understanding that it's important to be healthy. So it's not just about money. I've seen people who focus a lot on money and it's all about giddy. And in the end, they make the money, but you spend all the money in treating yourself. Right. So you also put that into perspective. And I'm an employee at the moment, but I don't aspire to be an employee all my life. I want to be frank. So we have young steps going, and eventually that's what I'm going to do full time. Right. So if you try to start now, so it's not about always dreaming. Think big, but you start small and start now. So you start working at it bit by bit, and that's what we are doing. We are not there, but we trust that it will be there. And have in mind that challenges will come. When the challenges come, face them and move on. So yes, we disagree all the time, but we don't waste a lot of time in addressing the issues.
I see.
Okay, so for me, interestingly, first of all, I must say that I'm blessed to have come in contact with you as a woman, because if somebody said I'll be a speaker, I'll be doing what I'm doing today, nobody will believe it, because I'm the shy type and all. But by the grace of God, I'm doing what I'm doing. And with the experience as being a stay-home mom for some time, and with what I've gone through as a woman in marriage, with retirement goals, I would say to every woman, okay, don't do something. Try to support your husband. Don't just sit wait, especially those who are, I have friends who are married to very wealthy, men who are just at home, just spending and not doing anything for themselves. Do something for yourself. And so for this together, Young Steps, we've joined the network. I don't want to mention the name because it's quite popular in Ghana, but we are doing it differently. And through us, we've changed a lot of lives. Last year, we've had a number of people in our executive network winning cars. Cars. We have the pictures. It's real. You
when
can
am I
check
going to win
on
the car?
Facebook. Very soon. Very soon. Yes, we have a design for you, for standpoints, and for ladies. One touching thing is there's this woman who lost a husband. Okay, so she's a widow. And she got her car last year, December, as well, when we were getting our second car. Okay. And she will call us and say, Tella, I say, me who sikabio. That's the nice thing about network. You don't do the work alone. Right. You earn commissions on everybody who's joined. And so for this long reach, I'm going to, these are the kind of money I'm talking about. Women need to hide. When they give you money for the market, maybe they'll give a certain amount, but when you go, the prices of okra has changed.
You negotiate.
It's very you negotiate, but you can't go and ask for top up. So that one will come from your purse.
Yeah, you add it.
Yes, so you need that money,
especially if you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yes,
and you're not earning any money.
Yes,
you
be asked questions.
They will tell you that you're doing chobo.
And the nice thing about it, I love, is sometimes when they need money and they ask you, do you have money? Then you also give. You give and give well.
It gives you some pride.
Yes.
But it depends that you give when you know that he can also give. Not that every day he comes borrowing from you and he doesn't give.
Yes,
that one is not nice. That one you have to be wise. If people want to reach you, young steps consulting to also get involved in this online marketing, things to also better their lives, especially in this year that things have been there. What is the number to call? How do they get in touch with you?
Okay, so Vodafone is 020-201-9599 and MTN is 024-420-9871.
Okay. And on Facebook, where can we follow?
Facebook, Emerald, I say Loglo, my name, and Della Dem Komlan Loglo on Facebook.
Okay.
And on Instagram as well.
Does Young Steps have a Facebook account or?
Yes, we do. But our personal page is more active.
Yes. Okay, so people can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your life, and I'm sure that couples watching will also learn. That I have learned something from it, and I pray that you go a long way. And may the Lord keep protecting you and preserving you, I
also want to say a big thank you for the opportunity. It's such a blessing. When we got the invite, we were like, standpoint. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. You're very honored.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Right. We take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. Marriage. Just kidding, don't mind me. But Charlie, marriage, it's a whole new ball game. But hey, I don't qualify to talk about marriage or to tell you about marriage. But one thing I can say is that you are either in or out. Communication plays a crucial role in marriage. Thinking together, planning together. It's so important. And yes, I get it. These days, you don't even know whether your marriage can survive the next day or not. But it's important to still plan so that even if along the line, you don't end up staying together, being together. If divorce, God forbid, has to come in, at least you have something, in mind. You can still continue. You can still, live. Marriage is tough, but it can be beautiful. It can be amazing. It can be enjoyable. Not because there won't be problems, not because there won't be any challenges, but because together you can work through it. Because together you can survive it. Together. Not just one person always fighting to get the things done right, always trying to get you to talk, always get to one person. It becomes tiring. And now let me talk to mankind, women. Yes, it is good. It is important to plan together, to have the accounts together to do this. But I say this to you too, woman, it is very important for you to be financially independent. It's not worth it. It's not empowering for you to be every time depending on the man for everything, living your life, revolving around him for everything. Not even if he's the richest man in the world. Even when you're working together, there must be something that you can own, you can work for, you can achieve. There's so much pride in knowing that I did this for myself. I don't know about you, but for me, it's so much important. And hey, we are dealing with human beings. They can let you down sometimes. Things may not go the way you expect it to go. They make promises, they fail. If you have no plan B, I don't know about you, but one thing I hate, I am afraid of, is to be disgraced or to be embarrassed. All because of money. All because I've been let down by someone. All because I put my trust in somebody. And he let me down. Make sure you have good conversation about your goals, what you want to achieve together, how far you want to go, and even talk about your retirement plan. But always remember, girl, you need a plan B. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. You can tell him about it, but you need a plan B, just in case. Life happens. The inevitable can happen. The unplanned for can happen. Not because he doesn't want to do it, not because he's wicked, but anything can happen. Plan B is important. If you want to sponsor a bit of me, which goes very viral, then please call 0543-618182. It costs very little to have your products advertised on this video. See you same time next week. Bye for now.